This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets.
Many global oil traders and banks have stopped dealing with Indian refiner Nayara Energy, a Rosneft affiliate, as they are worried about Western sanctions over Russia's invasion of Ukraine, two people with knowledge of the matter told Reuters. Nayara per se has not been sanctioned as part of the international response to what Russia calls its special military action against Ukraine, but sanctions are in place against Rosneft. The Russian energy giant owns about 49% of Nayara, which is India's second-largest private refiner, while Kasani Enterprises Company Limited, a consortium led by Trafigura Group and Russia's UCP Investment Group, holds 49.13%.
Benchmark Brent oil climbed above $100 a barrel on Wednesday after Saudi Arabia suggested this week that OPEC could consider cutting output in response to poor liquidity in the crude futures market and fears about a global economic downturn. Brent crude for October settlement traded up $1.07, or 1.1%, at $101.29 a barrel by 11:58 GMT. U.S. crude was up 99 cents, or 1.1%, at $94.73. Contracts for both crudes soared on Tuesday and touched three-week highs on Wednesday after Saudi Energy Minister Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman flagged the possibility of cutting production.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
Extreme heat in China played havoc on Wednesday despite lower temperatures in some regions, with authorities across the Yangtze River Basin scrambling to limit the damage from climate change on power, crops and livestock. China's heatwave, stretching past 70 days, is its longest and most widespread on record, with around 30% of the 600 weather stations along the Yangtze recording their highest temperatures ever by last Friday. The southwestern region of Chongqing has been hit especially hard, with one resident, Zhang Ronghai, saying that both his water and his power had been cut after a 4-day mountain fire in the district of Jiangjan.
Britain imported no fuel from Russia in June for the first time since records began 25 years ago, as sanctions on Moscow in response to its invasion of Ukraine helped drive a 97% fall in imports of Russian goods, official data showed on Wednesday. The British government has banned the import of some Russian products and hiked tariffs on others as part of its economic sanctions package. It has also said it will phase out imports of Russian oil and oil products by the end of 2022. The Office for National Statistics, ONS, said there had been a sharp and continued decrease in fuel imports from Russia since March, with June's zero imports representing a decrease of £499 million, $588 million, compared with the monthly average for the 12 months before the invasion in February this year. Next, we have the top news in metal markets. China's iron ore prices gained more ground on Wednesday, with the market jumping to a one-week high on prospects of strong Chinese demand ahead of the peak construction season. The most traded iron ore on the Dalian Commodity Exchange closed up 2.7% at 716 yuan, $104.35. A tonne, and the Shanghai Futures Exchange's most active rebar contract gained 1.5% at 4,086 yuan a tonne. Both contracts touched their highest since August 17. More measures from China to support its beleaguered property sector lent further support. China on Monday cut benchmark lending rates and lowered the mortgage reference by a bigger margin to boost its economy hurt by COVID-19 outbreaks and a property crisis.
The global refined copper market showed a 66,000-ton deficit in June, compared with a 30,000-ton deficit in May, the International Copper Study Group, ICSG, said in its latest monthly bulletin. For the first 6 months of the year, the market was in a 72,000-ton deficit compared with a 130,000-ton deficit in the same period a year earlier, the ICSG said. World refined copper output in June was 2.17 million ton, while consumption was 2.23 million ton. Bonded stocks of copper in China showed a 66,000-ton deficit in June compared with a 34,000-ton deficit in May.
We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector.
Nebraska corn yield prospects and soybean pod counts are lower than last year and below their 3-year averages, scouts on an annual tour of top U.S. production states found on Tuesday. Nebraska's corn yield was projected at 158.53 bushels per acre, BPA, the Pro Farmer Midwest Crop Tour said on Tuesday evening, well below the 2021 Crop Tour average of 182.35 BPA and the Tour's 3-year average of 176.68 BPA. The tour is being closely watched by farmers and commodity traders, at a time when bumper U.S. crops are needed to offset low global grain supplies, even as extreme heat and drought in the western Corn Belt has caused concern over weather impacts on crop yields.
That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.